me access to share my screen, please?
Oh yeah, listen to that.
There you
Command
go,
Control.
Dawn. You're good.
You got
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen with you this morning. Again, thank you everyone for joining us. My name is Dawn Royer. I'm with HRMS Solutions. I've been working with the CFS, HR, payroll, benefits teams to create a new system called UKG. We will be transitioning from Paycom to UKG, and today we're going to be taking you through that system. On our agenda today, we're going to be talking through HR management and payroll systems. We're going to show you how to log into UKG and navigate within the system. We'll be going through each of the categories within UKG, our people data, our company, jobs, pay, timekeeping, and then managers. We had already gone through our training for you, how to navigate with your teams. And then we'll talk about next steps and UKG assistance. So again, as CFS continues to grow and the organizational needs have changed, they have decided to transition to a new HR and payroll system called UKG that'll provide you a best-in-class solution to help enhance your employee experience. Again, we've been working over the past few months. We are in the final stages of testing the system. We will be sending out an email over the next week with your login information so that you can take a peek into the system, verify your information, and ensure that we have the accurate data in the system for you. So training has started this week and will continue into next week. Again, all employees or managers are required to at least attend one training session. And training material will be provided to you. So we will have step-by-step guides to go through all of the things that you will be able to do in UKG. So you can take some notes on our call today. But again, detailed screenshots will be provided to you along with your login information. Your first punch will be next Saturday, October 14th, and the first pay will be processed on Friday, November 3rd. Okay. Again, to ensure that you're receiving all of the communications about UKG and notifications from the system, you'll be utilizing your CFS emails to access UKG and to receive company-specific communications. So please ensure that you're accessing your CFS email address at least one time per week. Otherwise, you run the risk of having your email address inactivated. In the event that you are not able to access your CFS email address, please reach out to the help desk at cfsny.org. Okay, one quick notation for those employees that are entering their time in Therap and eVero. You will be continuing to utilize these applications to enter your time. All other employees will be utilizing UKG to punch their time. And specific details on how and where to punch will be shared in the upcoming training sessions, as well as in the training documentation. Okay, so let me switch gears. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log into UKG. So give me one moment. Okay. Again, when you are logging into UKG, you will be utilizing your CFS email address. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log in as my test employee. All right. Can everyone still see my screen?
Yes, got it, Dawn. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you for confirming. This is the UKG homepage. you will notice that here we have our left navigation. These are the different categories that you as the employee have access to. You have your personal, company, jobs, career and education, pay, workforce management, benefits, etc. Okay, so everything that you can do here, if I type in the word direct, you can see that anything that has the word direct in it will come up as an option. So from this menu, I will be able to access my employee directory or my direct deposit. On the top right-hand side, you also have the ability to search for pages, people, and content. So again, if I click here and I type in direct, you can see that I came up with the same options, direct deposit or employee directory. If I type in someone's last name, you can see here that I have several employees that I have the ability to choose from. Okay, so different ways to be able to navigate. On this page, also, you will see here that we have a to-do box. This is your notification bell. If you have tasks that are assigned to you, you will see a number indicated here. So if I had 2 things that I needed to do here, you would be able to see the number 2. Down here in that front section, you can also see that we have tasks. So because I have 0 tasks here in the notification, there is nothing that I need to do because it indicates that I'm all set. I've already completed all of my tasks. You can see here that we have our information on how to access the mobile app. These shortcuts here on the right-hand side, these are things that you have the ability to customize. So you might want to access different things that are important to you. So if I click on Edit Shortcuts, I don't need to see my direct deposit. So I'm going to turn this off. I don't need to see my contacts. I don't need to see my name, address, and telephone number, and I don't need to see my income tax. But one of the things that I do like to see is I like to see my pay history because I like to see my pay stubs easily, each week and be able to access that information. Workforce management, you're going to be accessing this to be able to access your timekeeping. So I'm going to turn that one on. And maybe I want to be able to see my company info. So just in case, there's notifications that happen, I can go ahead and click here. So now when I click apply, you can see that I've now changed my shortcuts to be able to see my pay history. I can click on my timekeeping and I can get to my company info. If I click on my pay history, it will take me to that particular page. And you can also see on the left-hand side that now my left navigation has changed. So using that quick link on my homepage took me to the navigation on the left-hand side. So you can see under myself, okay, under the pay category, under pay history, it shows you where that navigation is. So there's multiple ways for you to access the information within UKG. In the event you want to come back to that homepage, simply click on the CFS logo and it will take you back to your homepage. Okay. Notice here on the left-hand side, there's these little handles. So left side, right side, it takes you to another page. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this arrow. And this is going to take you to a page that has some company information. So again, here on the top left, we have our instructions for how to access the mobile app. The HR department may have some upcoming news, so they may be populating information here. We do have some things about our go live announcement. So again, what our dates are, what you're going to be able to do. Here's your company code if you need to access that information. So that information will always live here on this homepage. It'll talk about password requirements. And then in the event that you need assistance in UKG, whether it's HR related, access related, payroll related or CFS email related questions, you have your support contact information here to the HR payroll and help desk. Okay. Things we're going to talk about later in the presentation are what are the first things I need to do in UKG. So this is a reminder that when you're coming into UKG, we want you to be able to review all of your information. So again, the team has worked really hard on transferring your data over from Paycom to UKG, but we want you to make sure that, you know, we have your correct address, we have your correct emergency contacts. Look at your private information, your social security number, your date of birth, your gender, ethnicity, etc. You'll review your job information, your pay information, and your benefit elections. Okay. And we'll talk through how to go through all of those sections here. Okay, so we are going to start with the personal section. So when I click on personal, I'm going to come into the employee summary. On the employee summary, this gives me a quick snapshot of my employee information. So I'll have my personal information, which is my address, my primary email address, my phone numbers, my work phone numbers, my company information here. So you can see the organizational assignments that I have. So I currently work in CFS New York. My location is Riverdale. I've been employed since September 1st. My department is 5105. My branch is Arlington. My sub-branch is Crotona. And my resident apartments is Crotona 4B. Okay, when I scroll down, I can see my job information so that I'm an instructor. Again, I've been employed as of 9/1/23. My pay group for my is New York salary. I'm a salaried employee in New York. I'm a regular full-time employee. Okay. On the right-hand side, from this category tab set, I can change my name, address, or telephone. So under things I can do, I can add an alternate phone number, additional address, contact, emergency contact, change my private information, update my voluntary self-identification, and add an additional identification document. Okay, so I'm just going to navigate here on the left-hand side. So under name, address, and telephone number, here, you're going to verify your information. Again, we want to make sure that we've transferred all of the accurate information from Paycom to UKG. Here, if you want to make a change, you can simply click on edit, or again, under things I can do, I can change my name, address, and telephone number here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click on edit. All right. And in the event that we have a name change, so you get married, you get divorced, or you decide to change your name for whatever reason, you can change your name here. And once you submit this information, it will send a notification to the HR team letting them know that you have changed your name. The HR team will then reach out to you to validate and obtain the appropriate documentation to show the legal name change. Okay. You have the ability to show your name pronunciation. Under the address, you have the ability to update your address. You can see here, so if I wanted to change my address from Ravenna and I'm going to move to the Bronx. Okay. And then I go ahead and I save my information. You'll be able to see that my information has now changed to the Bronx. Now, in the event that you move to a city or a county that has a local tax, the system is smart enough to tell you that you may need to update your tax information. When you have a county change, a city change that affects local taxes, or you move from one state to another, HR and payroll will be notified that a change of that nature has been made. They will review that information to validate the tax setup to ensure that we have the appropriate taxes taken out of your paycheck. Okay. So again, the system is smart enough to know when you've made these appropriate changes. Again, from things I can do from this page, I can change my name, address, and telephone number, add an alternate phone number. I can add an additional address. Or from this tab set, from the personal tab, I can still add my contact, my emergency contact, etc. On my status and key dates, my status and key dates give me information about the dates of my employment. So I have my status date. I've been hired as of 9/1/23. If I was rehired again, it would show me the first time that I was hired with CFS, as well as the last time I was hired with CFS. Okay, it will give me my job start date, my seniority date, which is tied to our PTO accruals. It'll show us retirement dates, performance review dates, and our benefit seniority. Okay, this page, we have nothing to change here, but again, you still have the ability to change other things based off of the tab set that we're in. Under status history, if you had a job change, if you terminated, you got rehired, that information will show here. For your contacts, we don't have any contacts that are active. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a contact. And a contact is a person that we're going to enter for emergency contact or a dependent or a beneficiary. Okay. So here I'm going to add Johnny. Test is my contact information. I'm going to enter their social security number. Oh, hold on, it doesn't like me. Okay, and I'm going to give a date of birth. And the only reason why we need to have the social security number, date of birth, gender is if we are identifying the employee as a dependent or beneficiary. Okay, if we are entering as just an emergency contact, we don't need to have this personal information. Okay, so Johnny is a male, and this is my son, so my child, and I'm going to identify them as a dependent and a beneficiary, okay, and an emergency contact. So now his address is the same as mine. If his address was different than mine, I would click on this address box and I would need to fill in that information. Okay, but we're going to leave it so that he's in the same address as mine. I'm going to put in his phone number. This is his home phone, his work phone, or his other phone, his cell phone. So I'm going to go ahead and click on other. I'm going to choose my country, you until I get to United States, or you can scroll, whatever your preference. I'm going to click on United States. I'm going to enter a phone number. Let's see. 860-44444. Okay. And then I'm going to indicate, because it is other, that it is my cell phone for John. Okay. That's all the information I need to add here. I go ahead and click on save. And again, because I added him as a dependent, the system is smart enough to know that, hey, this may impact my taxes. So it will pop up a reminder that says, after adding a dependent, you may need to update your employee withholding elections in your W-4s. Okay. And then it tells you how to get there. So you go to myself, income tax, things I can do, add change withholding. Okay, click on OK. And now you can see that Johnny is now my beneficiary, dependent, and emergency contact. Okay. If I click on emergency contact, you'll also see that Johnny is here automatically. Okay. If I wanted to add another emergency contact only, okay, so this person is not, so this is Mary, Mary Jones. Mary Jones is my friend. Oops, what do I have here? What I have. So this is going to be other because I don't have friend in my list. So Mary is my friend. And I'm going to give her cell phone number again because I clicked on other. The other becomes a mandatory field. I select my country. Click on the U until I get to United States. And then I enter the phone number. Okay, so and then I tell it it's my cell phone number and I save. And now you can see that I have Mary as my emergency contact as well as Johnny. Okay. Again, following left navigation, we're going to go into our private information. This is one of the areas really important that we want you to be able to view your information. You are going to validate your social security number, your date of birth. You are going to look at your your gender, your ethnicity. So let's go ahead and let's click on either change private information under things I can do or click on edit. So here, I have my gender, I have my ethnicity, I'm not a smoker. I'm going to disability status, I'm going to change that. So I'm going to indicate that I'm not disabled. I don't have any visa or work permit information. I am not a veteran. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to say no. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on save. Okay, pretty simple. Again, validate this information because this impacts your taxes, impacts your enrollment into benefits and beneficiaries and things like that. So ensure that your social security number and your date of birth have been filled out appropriately. Identification documents for those that are new hires into the system. If there are new hire documents that need to be added here, you could provide that information. So simply click on add. Go ahead. Oops. And you're going to type in the country. It'll give you the document title. So I think this one is, hold on. It's going to be a search. It's going to give you, oops, hold on a second. Let's do it another way. Starts with U for United States. So I click here, identify that, and then it gives me my document title. So this one gives me the ability to load my passport and then enter my passport information. Once I've filled out that information, I can go ahead and click on save. Okay, so that's all from the personal section. We are going to move over to my company. So under the company information, this is where the CFS team has the ability to share specific company information. So similar to your internal website that you have, there may be some company information that they may populate here. If you have the employee directory, again, let's type in Jones and see what we get. So we got these couple employees. Let me type in test as my test employee. And then we're going to see Tessie's information. You can see that Tessie has, you can see her company. You're going to see where she works, what she's affiliated with, and her primary email address. Okay, so no confidential information. Notice here, home information is marked private. And then if I have my work phone, and because this is what I put in, that's what's going to be shown here. Okay. Under organizational chart, this is one of the really cool places. So again, I'm logged in as Tessie Test. So it shows me as an instructor. If I go ahead and I search on, just choose a person, I can see where Alexandra Smith is. So she's a DSP under Jennifer. Here you can see because I'm on Alexandra's portion of the organizational chart, her contact information is here. Again, you see her organizational information. If on this blue box, I click and drag, I can kind of click and drag where this goes, right? So notice here on the top, we have some employees that have numbers underneath them. If I clicked under this person's number, I could see their direct reports, okay? Again, you're only going to see company-related information. No personal information will be shown here. And I can see that Diana has 163 employees. And as I continue to drill down, if I click on Danielle Powers here, that I would be able to see her portion of the organization. So pretty nice feature that we have. Under jobs, again, left navigation, this is your job summary. So the summary is a quick snapshot about your job. So your job is an instructor. I've been an instructor since September 6th. Again, it shows me all of my information, my shift, my pay group, how often am I paid? I'm a biweekly employee. I'm an hourly employee. You can see my employee number, who my supervisor is. You'll be able to see my organizational location. Again, this is the information we shared. So your location, your department, your branch, etc. And if you had a second job, meaning you work, so you can see here that Tessie works as an instructor, but also works as a DSP. So I may have multiple rates. If I have multiple rates or multiple jobs assigned to me, that information will show here. Okay. On this page, there is nothing that you are able to change here. Again, this is for a summary only. Under compensation, you'll be able to see your personal compensation. So Tessie makes $80,000 per year. She's a biweekly employee, so her biweekly pay is $3,076. Her hourly rate is $38.46. Okay. In the event that Tessie had a salary change, it will show us when it was last changed and what was that percentage change. Okay, so if she got a 3% increase, then it would show here. Again, it shows me all of my job details. You can see my original hire date, first time I was hired with CFS, the last time I was hired with CFS, and then I would be able to see any salary history. Okay. Under job history here, you can see that she's changed jobs several times. So she was originally an assistant residential director as of 9/1. We then changed her to an instructor. So she went from salary to hourly. And then we had to change her supervisor because her supervisor that was assigned to her was terminated. So you'll be able to see the reasons why you had a job related change. Okay, so this is a pretty nice feature here. Under secondary jobs, again, she works as an instructor as well as a DSP. So if I look here under DSP for my effective date, I simply click on that. I can see that as a DSP, I started that position as of 9/11. My hourly rate as a DSP is $25. Okay. My supervisor when I work as a DSP is Kanisha Adams. And then again, it shows me my organizational assignments. Okay. Other company info, there's nothing here right now. If we had other job related information here that would show here. Under career and education, you have the ability to add any licenses or certifications that you may have. So here you would go ahead and you would click on add. You would add in your license or certification type, the number, the date you received your license, and what the renewal date is. In And then we will be able to look at this information and say, your license expires January 1st, 2024. So 30 or 60 days out, we can send a reminder that says, hey, Don Royer, your certification expires as of January 1st. Please ensure that you are recertified and provide your license. Okay, so we'll be able to do that here. And then under education, if you have any college or any type of educational information here, you could enter that here. So simply click on add, you would choose your school, enter your to and from date, indicate whether or not you've graduated or not, how many years you spent at that organization, what is your major or your minor, the location, and any of your other information. So once you're done in entering that information, you would simply click on save. All right, so some of the most important sections we want to get to is our pay, right? Because pay is most important to us. When you have your first pay, so first pay is November 3rd or 4th. I think that's what I said. So on that day, you would see your current pay statement. So that day, you're going to see your current pay statement of what you were paid for the 2 weeks prior. Okay. When you are looking for your pay history, you would be able to see the information that applies to your pay history. So last week's paycheck, the ones from September, you would be able to see. And again, because you're transferring from Paycom to UKG, your pay statements prior to November will still be in Paycom. But moving forward, all of your pay history will be listed here. So in the event that you need a loan, you need a mortgage, and you need to see the last 6 pay stubs that you've had, or you need to see your last W-2, the pay stubs will be listed here. Your W-2 information would be listed here for your previous years. So you'll be able to pull that down on your own without having to reach out to payroll HR. Okay. Under year-to-date summary, this is going to be your year-to-date statement. Let me see if I can pull this up here one quick second and show you what that looks like. EP statement, do I have that? So this is your total comp. Okay, so your total compensation, I'm going to take you through this page shortly. So this page shows you what your employment with CFS is truly worth. Okay, so we can see that this employee makes $96,154 here. Oops, let's go back. For their earnings. Okay. But in addition to that, the employer pays for a portion of your benefits. So your 401k, we contribute part of your dental, medical, and your prescription plans in here. So throughout the year, they pay approximately $6,700 worth of employer paid benefits. In addition to that, they also pay employer taxes on your behalf. So they pay approximately $7,400 so far. So if you take those 3 totals, your total compensation and the total value of your employment with CFS is actually $110,000. So that's one of the nice things that you wanted to be able to see. Okay, so let me take you back to here. Okay, so that was your total compensation statement that I just showed you. Your direct deposits. So you can see here that I am currently putting in 5% into my checking, and then the rest of my check is going into my savings. So let's just say I want to add one more account. So if I click on add, I can add a savings. So this one will be savings 2. Again, I'm going to identify my bank, and then my routing number. One. Okay, so if I hit tab or enter, you can see that nothing happens, right? If I take off this number and I hit tab, it's going to tell me I have an invalid routing number. So the system is smart enough to know what is a real bank, right? So the routing number identifies what your bank is. And because I've mistyped or I'm missing a number in here, it's not going to let me move forward. So if I correct the information, you can see the error goes away. Okay, so this tells me, who's this bank? It's going to tell me this is Bank of America. This is Chase Bank. This is Northwest Community Bank. Okay, this is CFS Credit Union. Then I'm going to put in my account number. So always ensure that you have double, triple checked your account number. Okay, so I'm going to put in my account number. And again, my account type is savings. And because I had already, and you can see what's currently happening with my direct deposit, that I'm already putting 5%, that I want to put in 10% into this new savings too. So I go ahead and I click on save. Okay, and because any changes that are made to your bank account will result in what we call a pre-note. And a pre-note ensures that your paycheck, your dollar, your 10% is going to your account at Bank of America into this account. Okay, because if you make a mistake on your account number, this 10% is going to go to the wrong bank account. And we don't want that to happen, right? Because this is your money. So we just let you know that a pre-note is happening. And what that means is, depending on when you make your direct deposit change, it may end up being, so in this case, you have a 5% and you have a direct deposit in place. Okay, so this is saying this 10% to this bank account may be delayed one pay cycle and may still continue to go into this available balance because we still need time to validate this account. Okay, the bank does this, and usually this is done within a few days, but no guarantee that depending on when you make the change to your direct deposit will that happen. Okay, so it's not that your funds are missing, right? It's just that they need to validate it with the bank. Okay, so now I'm going to say this is a pre-note. Yes, I'm okay with that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on save. Again, this page here requires you to validate your information. One more chance to review your information before you submit it. You can see that we have an approval that's put on, right? That this is going to the payroll admin because the payroll admin wants to ensure that you are going to the right spot. Okay, so we're going to look that this is going to Bank of America. This is my correct routing number. This is the correct name of my account. This is my correct account number. Most important, account number, account number, account number. Please, please, please verify this information, double, triple check. Okay, because if you make a mistake on this piece, your money's not going into your account. And then we're going to have to recoup that money. And then there's going to be a delay in getting that money to you. So again, please make sure that this information is correct. Then we can see here that we've added 10%. We've now validated that our information is correct. We're going to go ahead and we're going to click on submit. Okay. So because payroll still needs to approve it, you have one pending transaction, right? It's not showing up here. So if I want to check on this information, I go ahead and I click here. Okay. Add my direct deposit. And then I can see who's here. So I have a current approver here. All right, so let me speed this up a little bit. So our income tax, you have the ability to change your income tax information. You can change your W-4s. You can see here that the system knows that you have a New York and your federal income tax. So if I want to change my withholding under things I can do, I can change my W-4. I can click here. I can make the change. So based off of the questions that I fill out here, we will have single. I can say, do I have more than one job at a time? No. Is my income is $200,000 or less? Yes. Do I have any dependents? If I do, I click on 1 or 2, however many dependents you have. And then here gives you the ability to add any other income deductions or extra withholding. I want to add $100 to my withholding. I click on next. It shows you the form based off of the fields that you filled in. It fills out the certificate for you. You have the ability to print it. You have the ability to save it. And you also have the ability to download it to your computer. Review the information, validate that your information is correct, confirm that the information is accurate, and go ahead and click on sign and save. And that will update your W-4 in the system. Okay. Under W-2s, you have the ability to see all of your W-2s. So starting in 2024, you will receive a W-2 statement for the 2023 year, which will include all of the information from Paycom and UKG. So you will be receiving only one W-2 this year. Okay, so you'll be able to download that information here. The most important piece that we're going to go through is your workforce management. This is how you're going to access your timekeeping, the most important piece here. So I'm going to switch over here. Normally you would click on workforce management and it would take you into the timekeeping piece, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log in to our test environment. So give me a second to move this over for you. I'm going to quickly get logged in. You will not have to enter new credentials into your timekeeping side, but for demo purposes, I'm going to get logged in. Ugh. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, so if I want to punch in, you simply have a punch tile here. So your punch tile will show you the last time that you punched in. So the last time I punched in was 10/6 at 8 a.m. You can choose your punch time. I'm going to clock in. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on submit. So simple as that. So now I'm going to come back to the punch tile. If I was going to punch out, so I'm going to launch out, and then I hit submit. That's how I punch out. So punch in, punch out. Pretty simple here. Okay, so again, now I'm going to look at my time card. So I punched in and I punched in for lunch. You can see that I have one exception. That means there's something that needs to be fixed on my time card. So if I click on my time card, I can see where today is 10/6. Ooh, look, I have a missing out punch, right? So I punched in at 8 a.m. I forgot to punch out for lunch. I've got a punch here, punch in. That's what I punched earlier, and I punched out. Okay, so notice that it's very visible. So in the event that you forget to punch out, these red boxes will show. This is visible to you and to your managers. Okay, so if you make a mistake on your time card, you will have to reach out to your manager to update. Okay, you can see here that we have a missing out punch. On Monday, we have an in punch of 8:30, and you can see that there's a purple indicator. So when I hover over it, that means it was edited. Okay, so again, any changes that you make, any changes that your manager makes, it will be clearly visible to you. Here we have our 221 out punch, and then we transferred, right? I transferred to this location, but I forgot to punch out. Okay, so my manager is going to have to fix this for me. So you can see that my time so far is only 5.85 hours because I forgot to punch out. Once my manager makes that change to that, my hours will be corrected. Okay, so each week we want to make sure that you are punching in, punching out. This is very important to ensure that you are being paid accurately. So you as the employee have the responsibility to ensure that you are punching out in and out where you need to. Okay, so punch in, punch out, transfer your time to, if you work a second job with a different rate, you'll be able to see that here. Okay, again, here, this shows me I went from 10:49 to 10:50, and my normal breaks are 30 minutes. So it's throwing me an error that, not an error, but a notification that I have a short break. Okay. I also have this time here. So from 10:50 to 5 is my next shift. So now it's totaled my hours. If I scroll down to the bottom, I can see my totals. Okay, so I'm getting 2 hours of holiday work. I'm getting 2 hours of holiday. I've got 40 hours of regular. I've got weighted 2 hours of weighted double time and 2 hours of overtime. Okay, so you'll be able to see exactly what you're paid, but these numbers will change once these pieces are corrected. Okay, if I want to see my accruals, and accruals means what balances do I have, right? So do I have sick time? Do I have PTO? Do I have bereavement time? Those pieces of information here. You can see here that I have 3 notifications. Again, so different ways for us to be able to navigate. So if I click on here, I can see that I've entered a time off request. I have entered another time off request for 7/13 requested for 9/5. This PTO request was requested for 8/17. The approval status was refused, right? So, okay, I can mark that as done. My manager has approved approval status. Oops, hold on. Get back in here. Here, approval status is approved. I can mark that as done. Here, I entered a time off request that is approved. Oh, wait, I want to be able to see this, right? 9/25. So if I go here, I can see that my vacation is approved. You can also see that my vacation was approved for 9/5 that I had before, right? So this is what I showed you recently. Again, if I want to go home, I always click on the logo and it will take me back home. Okay, so that's my time card. So now I have 4 exceptions. Let's see what those are. So I come into the time card, I can see that I have this exception, I have this exception, and I have this exception. We also have that this has been updated. Okay, so that means my manager needs to do something for me. I'm going to come back home. Now, if I want to see my balances, and again, your balances are incorrect as of this moment because we are in the final stages of adding the new balances after payroll is run this week. So here, you'll be able to see your vacation balance. If I click on the arrows here, I can see my sick time. I can see that I have available balance of 40 hours. If I want to put in a time off request, I click on time off request. Okay, so it brings up a calendar. I want to take Tuesday off because we have Monday off for the holiday. And then I choose that day and I click apply. What you will do here is you enter your start hours. So the start hours is normally the beginning of your shift. So if I normally start at 7 a.m., I'll put 7. If I normally start at 8, I'll put 8. So 8 o'clock. And I normally work an 8-hour day, right? Our normal hours without overtime is 8 hours. So I would go ahead and I would show 8 here, okay? Because I'm a full-time employee. And yes, I'm taking it from my vacation balance. Oops, there, I'm taking it from my vacation balance. And now I'm going to review. So I put in a vacation request for Tuesday, 10/10, starting at 8 a.m. for 8 hours. If I want to add a comment, I can add that here. I can just type. Okay, one thing I will say here, please, please, please do not put in any confidential information. We don't need to know that you are sick. We don't need to know what kind of ailments you have. No confidential information here. Okay. You can add a comment if you need to, click on submit. Now you can see that your information has been submitted now, and it's going to your manager for approval. On your notifications, you can also see here that we have my request, right? So I just made this request. If I click on here, I can see that I have a time off request for 10/10. This is what I just submitted here. Now I'm waiting for my manager to review. So if I want to look at what my balances are, I want to look at the details. You can see my approval status is submitted. That means my manager still needs to approve. We're looking here. If you wanted to look at the comments, we could see here, I added a comment, typing a comment, and I could see my request details. Okay. If I'm okay here, I can just go ahead and I can mark this as done. And now this comes off of my list. Okay. Again, how do I go home? Back to the main page. I click on UKG and I come in here. Okay, so that pretty much takes care. So employees, we want to make sure that you are managing this so that it gets to 0. Okay, so now I have my request. I know here, oh yes, I've entered this here. I select this. I can see that I've entered it as done. This is waiting for my manager. So if my manager hasn't approved in 24 hours, 36 hours, you can reach out to your manager and remind them that you have a PTO request. Managers will be monitoring their own dashboard, right? So when they see their notifications, they're going to see a little line item that says employee request, so that they know they have 3 requests that they need to do. They will have 4 timekeeping pieces because they have 4 exceptions that they need to review for Dawn Royer. Okay, so pretty simple. That's pretty much entering your time. Again, you're going to punch and clock in. I'm going to clock in here. If I needed to transfer, I know that I have this transfer assigned to me. If I needed to transfer through this, I could go ahead and add that there. I click on submit. And I'm going to see on my time card that I've got this transfer here. Okay. All right, so let me take you back to our presentation. And again, so this is a copy of what your W-2 will look like, very similar to this. So the next steps, again, we want to make sure that you are validating your information. So review all of your personal information, your job information, pay, and your benefits information. We want to make sure that everything is active into the system. Again, your HR and payroll teams are here to support you if you have any questions. So reach out to HR, to payroll, and to CF help desk for any assistance. Again, training material with detailed information on where to click and where to go. We'll show you how to log in, how to punch your time, and your login information will be sent to you next week along with a copy of this training material. Before I go, I know we're right at time here, so I want to be cognizant of that. Does anyone have any questions that I could answer for you now?
Hi, yes, I do. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just a quick question. I had recently put in for time off at the end
Yes.
of this month. Would I have to resubmit that when we switch over to UKG? Because it's literally for the end of the month.
For the end of the month. Grania, have we talked about that with Yasmin?
No, we have not addressed that yet.
Okay, so what we will do is we will take that back and give you instructions. We may need to have you add your PTO back in again.
Okay, no problem. I was
Okay.
just making sure on that.
Thank you so much. That's a great question.
Thank you.
Dawn, can I just answer a couple of questions that have come up in the chat, and then I'll give
course.
it back to anybody else. So a couple of things. If you're using Therap and you're using eVero, you will continue to do so. This system will be for you to see your time off requests that you put through, and then your supervisor has put into the system to see your direct deposit, your personal information, your paycheck stubs, etc. But your clocking in and clocking out will be the way you've done it before. So that's one thing for the eVero and Therap folks. The other thing is that we will not, I repeat, will not be using this for expenses. We're setting up expenses with Concur, and that will be information that will be sent out to you separately. So that will be a little bit different. I know in Paycom we were able to enter expenses. We will not be doing expenses through UKG. And finally, just to repeat with Dawn, please, please, please go in and check your information when you get the access. You will be getting an announcement email with information about access to the system on the computer and as the mobile app. But when you get in there, please just check your information to make sure it's correct. There's thousands of bits of information that have been uploaded into the system. Things might lose a digit or lose an apartment number, and you want to make sure that your personal information is correct. So please double check that. Okay. So that's the bits of information that I have. Anybody else has any questions, please feel free to ask.
Great.
Hi, can I
Go ahead.
can I not really ask a question, but just say something that like the computer at Elm Park where I work, it doesn't. How should I put it? It's not working properly, and sometimes you can get in certain things, sometimes you can't get in certain things. What will be the effect if you sent out whatever need to send out and we can access what we need to access?
Well, if your computer is having an issue, you need to contact the IT department now so that that can be resolved as best possible before we go live. So if it is a computer issue, which it sounds like that some things you have access to, some things you don't, please email the help desk. It's up right now on the training, the help desk at cfsnewyork.org, and let them know that the computer at your house is having issues so that can get fixed. If there is a systemic issue, we will be working with IT to get out some other method for you to be able to clock in and clock out.
Okay.
What day is this going to be effective for this UKG?
October
first clock-
14th.
Yep. So the first clock in is
So-
October 14th, which is a Saturday.
So do we have to download the app now on our phones?
When you get the announcement email on how to download that app and how to get in, that's when you should do that.
Okay,
And also you'll probably be getting information from your supervisor about how you'll be allowed to clock in, because I know some programs will not allow you to use the app. They want you to clock in and out at your program. So that will be something that your supervisors will let you know. I see a question here for if I work in two houses, with both of my supervisors be able to access my time card for approval. That is something we're working on setting up so that that can happen, so that you get all your time approved by your supervisors and you get your full paycheck.
And Carlotta, I see that you did have a question, but I think that Grania also just answered that. Are you good? It will be decided. What's that?
Hi, my name is Mariam Raza. I also have a question.
Miriam, can I just let Carlotta answer what I was just asking her before we ask?
Oh, sure. Oh, I'm so sorry. Sure.
That's
Okay.
okay. Carlotta, are you good? All right, we'll put it in the chat when you're ready. Okay, go ahead, Miriam. Sorry, the person who was going to ask a question, you can go now.
Hello. Yeah, actually, I was saying, should I download UKG now?
We will be sending you login information next week. So wait for
Oh,
your
okay.
email
Okay.
and wait for that login information. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I did put in the chat that you all need to have access to your CFS email. You were all given a CFS email when you started with us. And so if you have not accessed that since you started with us, you are going to have to reach out to the IT department and get that reinstalled so that you can access emails, because that is where the information for UKG is going to go. So you're going to have to, if you've not been using your CFS email, you need to make sure that you are using it. Alexa,
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm on a landline and I don't know how to add my name to this training.
Okay. You can tell me your name.
Okay, my name is Lynn, Lynn Del Mato.
Okay, thank you, Lynn. I appreciate
You got it. Thank you.
Do you have my name up there? Hello?
Erica?
Yes, Erica Sims.
Yeah.
Hello? Okay, thank you.
My name is up there as well.
Yep.
Hello? Aliana Gatling.
Yep, I see it.
You hear me?
I hear you now. Yes.
Okay, Mary Gerard. Do you have my name?
Yes. Anybody, if your name is on your screen, I have your name. If you called in with a phone number, I do not have your name.
Hi,
hello. Do you have my name, Raven Brown?
Okay, we can't be
All
double
right.
checking everybody's names. We're going to have to mute people again. There's
Yeah.
a question here about direct deposit. So I want to answer that. The direct deposit that is in the system right now with Paycom will be transferred to UKG. But as we said before, when you get in there, please double check it to make sure that it is correct. You'd be surprised how many people are making changes. So we want to make sure that it is correct in case you made a change after we move the information over. Now, there is a question about transferring. I think you're talking about if you're transferring from what?
Oh, Grania, I think you got muted.
Can I say
Sorry.
one question?
Okay.
Sorry, Grania, you're muted.
Okay, you got to stop muting all because then I will be muted again.
Right.
If somebody made a mistake when transferring, can that be corrected by staff? So I believe that that may need to be corrected by your supervisor if you don't catch it at the time that you have transferred. But I will confirm that. But if you do make a mistake, be sure to let your supervisor know. Otherwise, you may end up with the wrong pay rate, or you may end up getting your salary or your hourly rate paid out of the wrong program. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I think Dawn has left us. She's got another training. She's got a day full of trainings trying to get people on board with UKG. So thank you, Dawn. I think if there's any